read about the life of Benjamin Franklin, you discover how rich it was. His inventions and his discoveries, his political life and the people that he mixed with. But what I find even more fascinating is the importance he placed on self-improvement. In particular, his 13 virtues of daily life. They are as relevant today as they were in the 1700s. By practicing Benjamin Franklin's 13 virtues, or at least a version of them, I can testify that they've helped me improve my life, and they can help you too. But just like learning anything or improving anything, it will take time and deliberate practice to master. Welcome, guys. This is Bimulenga. This will be part 1 of 3 on Benjamin Franklin's 13 virtues, and I'll talk about the first 4. But before I continue, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, hit the like button, and share with your friends. I came across the 13 virtues in my earlier stages of my journey to becoming the best version of myself. I've followed them closely and failed many times, and I still do fail, but the journey is not yet done, and now is not the time for quitting. So let's get in it. I don't think I've had a problem with overindulging, but I've experienced it a handful of times, and I can see the reasoning behind this. From the people around us, and sometimes even ourselves, we can see that overindulging in food and alcohol is harmful to body and mind. Anyone who has had a moment of overindulgence can attest that it actually makes you less productive. Drunkenness has a negative effect on coordination, vision, judgment, drowsiness, and loss of balance, among other things. And anyone who's experienced it will attest that it takes a considerable amount of time to get back to a state of productivity. There's a reason why in most companies it's a fireable offense to show up for work drunk, and also why DUIs are expensive and can be fatal. The long-term effects are even worse when uncontrolled. Just Google long-term effects of overindulging in alcohol and food. In order for the mind to work at an optimal level, temperance is very, very important. We're in the world with so much noise around us that it feels like for us to be heard, we have to scream. But sometimes you actually say more with silence. You learn by listening and not talking. This means practicing silence and only speaking when it is appropriate to do so. As the saying goes, silence is more than the absence of conflict. But you should not be too silent. Express yourself only accordingly. In my younger years, I grew up as a shy person, and this virtue came somewhat easy. But as you know, with shyness, you get to a point where you're even shy to express yourself, and I was that person. With time and practice, I've actually taken myself out of my comfort zone, trained myself to speak when I need to speak, when it is appropriate for me to speak or express myself. I think the good thing that came from my shyness is that I became astute and a very good and guided learner. Silence will help you learn when to talk and to pick the moment or which conversations to get into. Franklin actually acknowledged that he had trouble with this virtue, but he still worked consistently to master it. If you're not an ordinary person, it will be tough to get to this or master this virtue. But being orderly will actually help you manage your time and resources better. This will also help you pursue your interests orderly if practiced effectively. Chaos creates noise and confusion, and can lead to time wasting. Since I discovered the 13 virtues, I've tried also to be orderly. I tried to practice every one of them. I've failed many times, it's been tough, but I think I'm getting better. Everything should have its place and time in life. Always do that which you set out to do. Practice discipline and accomplish your tasks as you achieve your goals. Find and eliminate procrastination by all means necessary. Sticking to your tasks and actually accomplishing them is one of the biggest components of achieving your goals and setting yourself up for success. We should all focus on what we have at hand. Once that is done, then we'll move on to the next. We should not be like that kid who had a bite of every apple in the basket, ending up wasting all those apples, perfectly good apples, wasted just because he bit on each and every one of them. Unaccomplished tasks just waste our time and resources, and in many cases, they don't help us achieving our goals. But this should not mean that we should stick to a task that's not working. In my case, as I try to perfect this virtue, I have failed many times, and actually I fail when I need it the most. That is, when I'm too busy and swamped. At that moment, I tend to try to kind of crowd my tasks together or bunch them together and do them at the same time. But with that, I just overcrowd my brain and slow myself down. Just like Ted Crenshaw was taught in one of his lessons that there is actually no multitasking when it comes to the brain. We all claim we're good multitaskers and all that, but there's actually no multitasking when you actually dig deeper and look at the brain. What we actually do as human beings is we switch tasks. And switch tasking consumes a lot of energy that in the long run, we actually waste more time switching between tasks. But if you can learn to focus on one task, accomplish it, then move to the next, you actually save more time. So now every time I try to resist switch tasking. So instead, I plan my tasks in the order of importance and I knock them out starting with the most important task, then I go down the list until I get closer to achieving my goals. With this kind of setup, I save the least important tasks for last. That's in case I run out of energy or I run out of time. At least I would have tackled the most important. Just try it if you want, just maybe for a week or so, and see how it can help improve your process. I actually achieved more with this than with any previous system that I had. We should strive to become the best versions of ourselves every day. Benjamin Franklin had it figured out. Following the 13 virtues for daily living, they will help you improve your life and set you up for success. And they will bring fulfillment in your life. Following the 13 virtues has really helped me. And I'm sure it can help you too. Just try it. Give it some time, a trial period, and see what happens. Catch me in the next video for part 2 of Benjamin Franklin's 13 virtues. Thank you and bye.